Ciddi, expert on Turkish domestic politics and foreign policy. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. What more do we know, first of all, about Mehmet Korkulu, and why is it so important to Ankara that he's extradited?
So we don't know too much more about him. What we can say is probably a figurehead. Turkey has been on record for demanding strong action from Sweden before it will consider approving its membership for NATO, which has been sort of sagging and lagging since last year, since the Madrid summit. So basically, if this goes forward, this will be the first real extradition of somebody that Turkey wants, and it will allow President Erdogan to essentially say to his people, see, we demanded strong action from Sweden to essentially remove PKK sympathizers or PKK operatives from Sweden, and now we have it. So I think he's looking for an angle where he can basically prove to his electorate, his base voters, saying we got the demand, strong demand realized, and therefore we will lift our strong objection and allow Sweden to finally become a member of NATO. His expectation, obviously, then is he would like Washington to remove its objections, mainly from congressional sources, to essentially facilitate the sale of F-16s to Turkey.
And of course, Turkey's opposition to Sweden and Finland joining NATO very much upsets the plans of the West, who were trying to build a coalition against Russia's Vladimir Putin. Is this the end of the Turkish opposition then? Will they now step aside and allow Sweden to join?
Never say never with Erdogan. My understanding and my prediction is that, yes, I think at the Vilnius summit, we'll see a pomp and circumstance whereby essentially Sweden will be admitted, but always expect the unexpected from Erdogan. There were protests in Stockholm over the weekend where they projected a flag of the PKK onto the Swedish parliament, which has again attracted strong rebuke by Turkish authorities. I don't necessarily think it's going to, take the membership of Sweden off the rail. But I've learned my lesson in the last few years to essentially take Erdogan at his word sometimes when he says no is no. But at this point, I don't think he has any reason to deny Swedish membership accession to NATO, simply because if he does not, then his ability to source brand new F-16 fighters from the United States, which the Biden administration is keen to sell Turkey, might disappear. So we're looking at a sort of a tap dance game. Expect pomp and circumstance around Turkey sort of broadcasting its decision to allow Sweden in, because it wants to take credit for it and sort of get the limelight while it does so.
And just returning to Mr. Korkulu for a moment, I mean, is there a concern about what will happen to him when he's returned to Turkey? We do know that thousands of people are in jail just for insulting President Erdogan. What might be in store for him?
Of course. I mean, look, Swedish government has been sort of mulling over it in its head. Should they comply with numerous Turkish requests to extradite who Turkey wants to extradite back to Ankara, who it claims to be terrorists, who it claims to be PKK operatives, right? And the previous Swedish government had resisted this, saying, look, we can't do that because we have widespread freedoms in this country. There's a burden of proof required before we do extradite anybody to Turkey. I think the Swedish government is so desperate to essentially just get the succession process over and done with that they're willing to compromise on some of their democratic principles and extradite one person, which I think might be sort of a devil's bargain, so that this process is over. But as far as Mr. Korkulu is concerned, yes, he could go to jail. He could face recriminations in jail. Who knows? But it depends how far the Turkish government wants to charge him.
Sinan, Ciddi, great to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.